Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to see all of you again, and I'm excited to start the semester. So let's hold on. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay. First and foremost, I wanted to congratulate Raj. Congratulations on completing the ham radio license. I heard you got a perfect score. Round of applause for Raj.
Thank you.
Any, do you want to give a speech?
I don't really have a speech, but thank you all, everyone. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Again, for any of you interested in doing the ham radio license, as for the exam, it's not that bad as you think it is. It really is just a memorization test, just if you know the questions and stuff. So again, I encourage all of y'all, if you're interested in ham radio, please take the exam. It's not as bad as you think it is. It's really, probably say like just give it a week or two and like you'll really be in good shape for the exam.
I'm taking it next weekend, so I hope I pass.
But you'll do fine.
Thank you. All right, next on the list, we have the prototype of the avionics tray completed. Thank you to Gus. He got it done in his 3D printer. So we have that here. You can see the little pictures, what that looks like. And it does fit, so. Next, I just wanted to give a little update that the accelerometer is in the lab. It's inside of the black Adafruit bag, if anyone's wondering. And then this is a very important topic that we need to talk about. So meeting with recovery. We are gonna be helping them out with testing. So they're gonna have two types of tests that they need help on with us. The first one being, we're gonna do testing on a CO2 ground test. After that, we will be testing it with the airframe to make sure that it works with the CO2. So basically we need to be there because we're in charge of remotely setting off the e-matches. The items that we need to bring will be telemetrum, an antenna, a laptop, a battery, and a screw switch, which is optional because we can also, we can short it ourselves if that's what we want to do. Just some general safety guidelines. We want to make sure that we stay 100 feet away. We wait 10 minutes after the e-matches goes off. That way we don't risk anything. I will let you guys know the date as soon as Carlos relays that information. I believe last year, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe last year we did it in the field at UH. This year we're trying to do it at Eric's house. Fingers crossed that he lets us do it at his house because he's a really cool person and it would be a really good opportunity for y'all to get the chance to meet Eric. He has a lot of knowledge and he's just really cool over in general. Obviously, this is not a requirement for y'all to go, but if you're interested in watching it and watching us practice, it's a perfect opportunity to get firsthand experience. And then this is kind of like a little general idea of what we're going to be working on from here on out. You can find this in it's in the Google Drive for this year's sub-team. Some things that we're going to be working on is the code for the ground station this Thursday. If you are interested in helping out with that, please attend the meeting because we're going to try and finalize the code, get started with that. And then other things to look forward to is testing. We're going to be doing pressure testing, battery testing, integration testing, and Emily's going to help us with that. So I feel like that would be a really good chance to get to know the system better before we start doing the assembly dry run. But that's all I have for you guys. Does anyone have any questions? Any last things you wanted to add, Raj?
Not really. Again, just I encourage all y'all to get your ham radio licenses if you can. The more the merrier, especially for avionics, since we do a lot of radio stuff. And yeah, I think you pretty much cover everything. Again, this Thursday we are doing ground station codes, so if you know any members as well, not just at Avionics, but AAA that does know how to code. Like I know someone reached out during last meeting, I think it was Scott, that reached out and said he knows coding. So if you know any type of coding, whether it's Python or something, I encourage you to come to Thursday's meeting if you can. I know a lot of the meeting conflicts with a lot of people's like class times and stuff, but if you can come to one meeting, please come to this one.
Yes.
I have a question about ham radio. Um, what ham radio stuff do we do besides the spaceport launch?
So we
Things?
currently run a club, you know, the ham radio club here. So in that club, they do a lot of fox hunt searches, so like scavenger hunts with ham radio, and they also recently Kurt's working on a mini project with the JSC Center where they could let us give a tour, and they're actually going to showcase then contacting the ISS station with ham radio. So like that's a really cool thing that Kurt's still working on, and with ham radio as well. When we're doing testing, even though like maybe like one or two of us will actually go to space and do it. When we're actually doing testing, the more ham radio licenses we have, the better, since we need to physically have at least a certain amount of people. And since after Kurt recently got his general ham radio license, so that means we can have host up to 4 people on a single communication line. Congrats to Kurt on that. But because of that, now we can have more members participate in ham radio and use that radio license to help test out the rocket, test out the antenna. And especially with this year, sorry if I'm rambling, but like with this year, we are using APRS. So what that means is in real time, it will give you like a Google map location of where your object, or in this case, our rocket is. And so Kurt actually showed me a cool website. I'm not too sure if I have it, but he recently used ham radio for a marathon. So I was around a couple of weeks ago. He was on a truck and he was driving with the marathon runners, and using APRS, he was able to route the exact location and the exact route the marathon runners take. And you can even see like each timestamp, like 5 minutes they were here, and at 4:20 they were here, etc. So like this year there is going to be a lot more involved with using ham radio and testing out APRS. So that's a really big reason why we're encouraging a lot more this year, because there is a lot more things we're doing with it.
Thank
Okay,
you
thank
for
you.
that
That answers my
answer.
question.
No
Any
problem.
other questions? How's everyone doing? I'm just gonna stop sharing.